Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice. Simple steps for showing up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. Today's going to be a spicy one. Today's going to be really good. I've had a few experiences that I want to relate to you, and I want you to internalize. So this is a very thought-provoking episode. This is one where I want you to pause and to ponder and to think. And when you finish the episode, listen to it again and share it with people and talk about it and really dive in and think hard. I want you to come up with scenarios to how you would actually react, what you would actually do in the situations that I will be relaying to you. What you appear as or how people see you means everything, right? Our egotistic side, our egoic side wants to be liked by people. Our egoic side wants to fit in, doesn't want to be outcasted, wants to be accepted. It's part of humanity. It's part of wanting to become, right? Be a part of the cool kids, be a part of the crowd. However, standing out of the crowd is what gets you to the place and where you're wanting to go. If you do what everybody does, you will not be an anomaly. You will not be as great as you could because you are doing exactly what everybody else is doing, which means you will receive what everybody else has. As you walk into rooms, I want you to think, what do you do? How do you act? How do you walk? How do you hold yourself up? Are you one to try and draw attention by being outlandish? Or do you draw attention purely by your energy? Or do you blend in? Or do you go unseen? Where do you fall when you walk into a room? And how would you like that to be? If you are currently one arena, do you want to be in another? I know plenty of people that they walk in, people know they're there, and they'd prefer that to not be the case. I'm not saying one way is better than another. I'm just saying, what is your reality? What happens? And what would you like your reality to be? We'll start with that. This last weekend, I had a really cool experience. I was last minute, I had a 24-hour notice to attend a automotive social. We'll call it that. It's an event that happens at a automotive museum, and a bunch of just car enthusiasts get together. It's a membership socialization time to get together, to network, to mix and mingle, to have fun conversation, and to be in one another's presence. And I learned about that social 24 hours in advance and was able to make it. I had to head home from a birthday party early, not really early, but we had to go straight there. We had to leave a car there for me so I can get home after. And at that event, I saw a friend. And that friend, I did not know he was in this group of people, he and his wife, and it was great to see him. And then he promptly invited me to his event the next day at the Lamborghini dealership. And this is a place that I've wanted to form relationships. I've wanted to make connections at the dealership. And I knew so many people that had really good relationships there at the Lamborghini and Bentley dealership here in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I didn't want to just walk in and form my own, which I easily could, but I wanted it to be levered. I wanted to utilize the relationships I have to be a referral base to the sales team and sales manager at Lamborghini. That is where my friend has his lounge. He has a private theater, private lounge on the second floor of the Lamborghini dealership. It is by invite only that you can go up there. So you're kind of in this little class when you get to go up there. And he invited me to his private event. So I showed up, the doors were locked. I got let in by his wife, and we went up there and had a great time. It was wonderful. My wife got a race on a simulator, not a video game simulator, an actual racing simulator. She actually drove in NASCAR and did great. She did awesome and had a cool experience in doing that. And having all of these relationships formulate and blossom and bloom and just further what we're trying to do. And that's by having great and lasting impact on others. While we were there, we had informed him that we had a double date with another friend at Topgolf that night. And so we had to get going so we could see our kids for at least an hour during the day. And on our way down, I decided to form a relationship now that the salespeople saw us come down from that private party. They very much so wanted to engage us and see who we were. So we engaged them instead. Had great conversations, built rapport with them, and showed them our energy and who we are, and then informed them that we will be back. And when we come back, we will be looking at cars. And to give them a sense of which direction we're going. Again, showing who we are. Having us be seen and known by the energy and frequency we put off. And then we go home, and then that night we go to Topgolf. Our previous friends that were at their private event, they had a scheduled appointment with somebody that was flying in. The flight was late. So he was not going to make it to Topgolf. But he then subsequently invited us to another closed networking party at a high-end automotive club. So this one is one where you pay a premium dollar to have meetups once a month and get together with car enthusiasts. And this is a high caliber. Most cars are Ferraris and Lamborghinis and so on and so forth. Aston Martins, Mercedes, you kind of name it. If it's an upper echelon car, they're probably there. And what a cool experience that was. Being amongst those people, feeling of their energy, feeling of the room, feeling of the cars, and everything that took place was glorious. And I have formed some what I believe to be very life-changing and impactful relationships because of how I showed up, because how I choose to show up. My intention in showing up is to do good and to help other people. So those that have ever seen me, if you see the video, I got this watch on. If you've seen my videos, you've seen the watch. If you've seen me in the last 6 months, you've seen me with this watch on. And at this event, they had, at least $1 million worth of watches on display for sale. Anywhere from a $15,000 watch to a $120,000 watch. They were all on display. They were owned by the people of the group, and they were on display to be sold. And watches were being bought. And while I was standing there, for anybody that has seen me with my watch, it kind of grabs attention. I think it's super pretty. One of the connoisseurs grabbed my arm. I wasn't even talking to him. I was in a different conversation. He grabbed my arm, picked my arm up, and asked me what the watch was. He recognized it and said, "Is that such and such?" Now, in this situation, you're set up with a choice. My watch is not real. This is not a real green face Rolex Presidential. If it was real, it'd be about $65,000. It is not real. I paid $100 for it from somebody that paid about $4,000 for it to be made. It's called a Frankenstein watch. It's got an actual Rolex body, an actual Rolex Cyclops lens with an actual Rolex glass, actual Rolex clip, but the band is not Rolex and the internals are not Rolex, but the face is also Rolex. So there's many aspects of it, the internals being the most expensive part, that are not Rolex. But I like the watch. I got this watch for $100 because I thought it was pretty. 2, it has the date and the day on it, which my other watches don't have. I have to manually roll the spring in it. It is an analog spring mechanical watch. It is not automatic. There's no batteries in there. So this has a sweeping hand like a Rolex, and you must wind it every day. If I don't wind it, the time will stop. And then I'll have to reset the time and the date, which is kind of a pain. I wanted to install in my mind when I look down, I see the Rolex face. I experience the Rolex. I have to roll it every day. I have to wind it every day. I'm building in these experiences. So when I do buy my Rolexes and my Patek Philippe's and my AMPs, I will be used to things of that nature. I'm doing it with intention and purpose, But at the end of the day, I just like the watch. I just think it's pretty. And also receiving compliments from people. In previous times, previous episodes, you've heard me talk about struggling with receiving compliments. I usually fire it back. I've been working on receiving those, and one of the ways is to wear this watch. It gets a lot of compliments. And so when faced with a fake watch in front of a whole bunch of watch collectors, what do you do? What would you do? Would you stand and state that it's real and show it off and have a good time and continue in the conversation and not be awkward about things? Or would you fess up that it is indeed fake and that it's a replica, it's a Franken watch, and then explain why you have it and why you like it and why it's important to you? Either way, neither way is right or wrong per se, I guess. I personally led in with telling them right off the bat it's not real. And then they were all very disappointed in this, dang type process. And then one of them said, why would you buy a fake Rolex? Keep in mind, these are all people that buy $20,000 to $120,000 watches and up. And I proceeded to explain, since he asked, why I have this watch. And at the end of the day, I just think it's pretty and I like it. And all of them said, well, I can get behind that. That's why I wear my watches and drive my cars and wear what I wear. I just like it. That's it. There's no other reason. And I had a friend who was next to me, and once I said it's not real, she looked at me and said, I am thoroughly impressed with your honesty right now because of the situation I was in. And I turned to her and just nonchalantly said, why would I lie? Why would I tell something that's not true? I have no reason to lie, but I have all the reason to tell the truth. I'm not trying to fake having a real Rolex. I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm simply wearing a watch that I like, that I find pretty, and works tremendously well, and has the date on it. I want you to think about you in this situation. What would you do? Would you shun down and hide? Would you stand up and speak truth? What would you do? It turned out to be a very beautiful experience. And every single person, as I said, very much so agreed. Wear what you wear because you like it. For no other reason than that. And at the end of the day, other people's opinions do not matter. What you think of yourself matters. Are you wearing the fake watch to act as if you are wearing a real one? Or are you wearing a fake watch simply because you like it and it works well at what it does? It's just another watch. And how important of experience that was. Not only did this situation that could have been awkward, was not awkward, but it bolstered relationships. It built up who I was because I'm a person of honesty and integrity. They are part of my value system. That is a part of my ethics code. And I had a chance to prove it. Not to anybody else, because they don't matter, but to myself. That I can curate this type of love for myself, passion for myself, honesty, trust with myself. After all, that is what self-confidence really is. It's trusting yourself to do the right thing, to do the hard thing, to do the honest thing, to do your very best. And when you say you will do something, you will get it done, and you will get it done with excellence. Look in your life and see how you show up. Do you speak truth when truth is needed? Or do you shy away and try and blend in, try and fit in? I could have easily just fitted in with those men because they had no idea. In fact, they laughed about the fact that the guru, the connoisseur, could not tell the difference. And it turned into somewhat of a joke. And we all had a great time. It did not change my experience one bit. In fact, it bolstered it. I challenge you to always speak truth. I challenge you to stand firm in what you hold true, your value system, your ethics code, because that is ultimately all you are. That's all you have is your word. But that is what I've got for you guys today. I'm grateful for you. Have this conversation with your friends and your family. As I said in the beginning, I want you to truly ponder about this. What are your values? What are your ethics? Where do you stand firm? Or would you avoid the situation entirely? Just walk away. What would you do? Leave me a review. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to this. Find me on social media, Mr. Brad Draper on all platforms. Until next week, I love you guys. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Love you. Bye.